Hey YouTube, thank you for joining me today. Excited to talk about this. This is something that I don't really talk about too often. People will ask me if I think real estate is going up or down or crashing or blowing up into a balloon. Well, I don't really like to make predictions. However, I've been following some economists, and I just want to talk about why I might think, or I may think, may think, why I think real estate will continue to go up into 2022. And today is Wednesday, December 15th. 10 days till the big guy goes down the chimney, if you still believe or not. So, today I'm looking forward to chatting about it. I've got the 5 I's. I kind of made my titles all start with an I so that I could say that. And and then I've got a bonus as well at the end. But I'm looking forward to discussing why I'm not predicting, why I'm just thinking that real estate will continue to go up in 2022. And that'll be backed up by the 5 I's. And I also have a bonus section at the end, which I call it a bonus because I couldn't make it fit into an I at the beginning. But there'll be a bonus section number 6, and we'll chat about it some more. So if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for giving me your eyeballs and your attention for the next little while. I appreciate it. And yeah, if you're new, click the subscribe button. Hit the bell to get notified. We go live every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. We release a video every Thursday. Kevin, what's getting released tomorrow?
We're actually going to release it today.
Oh, look at this. I'm not in the know. I guess we're releasing a video today. But typically, as far as I know, unless something else has changed, it is every Thursday.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, which one's tomorrow? Which one's today, Kev?
That is going to be Real Deals.
Ooh, the Real Deals. That'll be the first one, right?
Yes, it will be.
So make sure today that you watch the Real Deals getting released. I think it is with
Ted and Zoe.
Yes, Ted and Zoe. That's an awesome story. Okay, anyway. But yes, make sure to hit the subscribe and notify and the bell and all that jazz so you know. I probably butchered that. But let's talk about why I think real estate is going to be going up. Not a prediction, just a thought in 2022. And the first I of 5 is the influx of investors. Okay, I don't want to say the word that has been happening. It's almost like Voldemort, where you can't, oh gosh, I said it. The one who cannot be named, I said it. I'm not even a big Harry Potter fan, but the whole pandemic, right? I don't even want to say the name of it, but that has been happening for the last, has it been 2 years, Kev?
Yep.
Ish. Yeah, because we were in Florida March of 2020? Yeah, 2020. So it'll be almost, oh my gosh. Anyway, but the influx of investors. So the last, let's say 18 months or 2 years, call it whatever you want, investors have been reluctant to purchase property, and I'm talking mostly Canada and the States here, okay? So North America, well, not including Mexico, but Canada and the States. The influx of investors, they have been reluctant these last, let's just call it 2 years, these last 2 years to put their dollars to work in Canada and the States because of COVID, right? Remember when we used to call it coronavirus? Anyway, with COVID-19, they have been reluctant to do so. And there's the part I'm thinking is scarcity, right? People didn't know what was going on. People might have lost their jobs. People might have been going through hardship, different things like that. And then also not knowing what's happening in the world, right? There was a lot of scarcity of, are we going to make it through this? Is this the end? Is it apocalypse? All of that. So there was that mindset, and that's why people were not investing in Canada and the States. Now, the other thing as well is due diligence. People were afraid to invest in, let's say if you're from Europe or you're from other parts of the world, China, wherever, Asia, and you're investing in Canada, well, some people like to actually physically go there to be able to walk the prom, and they weren't able to do that for the last couple of years, let's say. Okay, so that's why I think now, more than ever, in the short period of time that this has been happening, the influx of investors is going to flood the market again. It's going to start coming back. You're seeing it in the major metropolitan areas. You're seeing it in the states, the southern states as well. Huge influx of investors piling in now because they've been it's been this pent up for 2 years, and now the floodgates are open and investors are like, let me at it, okay? So that is one of the first I's, is the influx of investors that are starting to come back to the market or coming to that market for the first time, okay? So that is the reason I think prices will continue to go up. The second I of the 5 I's is immigration. This is almost parallel to what I was just saying, but immigration has been on hold these last 2 years. And it's not just investors. I mean people that actually want to immigrate to Canada to live, right? They're on school visas. Like I'm seeing that the local universities and colleges are now starting to accept people more and more back into their programs, which was on hold. Just our local college here, I know they advertise a lot in Brazil to come to the local schools here. They advertise a lot in China to come to the local schools. And I'm seeing that again and again. So immigration is happening, which means which means the demand for housing is increasing, right? More people come into the country, they need to live, everyone needs accommodations and shelter. So immigration is happening again, and that is going to drive the prices, right? Supply and demand is going to drive the prices of whether it's the rents, whether it's purchase prices, it's going to drive it up. So influx of investors and an influx of immigration because people are now allowed to come. They're now allowed to come back again, right? Knock on, I think this is wood's probably like some fabricated wood, but people are starting to immigrate, are allowed to immigrate to Canada again, and the States, obviously. So the third, and I've done some videos on this, the third I, and just in case you're logging in right now or anything, there's going to be a Q&A at the end, okay? So stay at the end, start putting your questions in. Just so you know, Kevin, I can't see them on the screen there. But yeah, if you guys want to start putting your questions in, Kevin will have it by that time.
Yep.
Awesome. And then, yeah, we'll start the Q&A. But just start putting them now, and I'll get to them once we're done the 5 I's and the one bonus that I couldn't add an I in front of. So inflation, that is the third one. Inflation. I've done YouTube videos on this. I think Canada is at 4.4 or 4.7-ish, yeah, okay, which is ridiculous. The highest in I think it's 20 years or so. 2 decades, that's right. And then also the States is at like a 6.2, which is just bonkers. But inflation, now you're thinking, Dave, yeah, I'm sick and tired of hearing inflation. Groceries are costing more, gas and fuel is costing me more, and everything is costing more. How is this going to affect housing? Well, think about it. The money you have right now is literally just eroding. It's eroding. It's disappearing due to inflation. So what do people want to do? If you keep it in the bank, it's eroding, right? If you're putting it into different, well, and there's volatility, and I know I'm not going to get into the whole stock market, into the whole cryptocurrency, but inflation is real, right? Ladies and gentlemen, it is real. It is happening right now. So what does this mean? How does this affect real estate investors? People don't want to lose money. People don't want that to erode away. You save money for a period of time and then it just goes away to inflation. That's not fair. Well, where do you park it? Where's the one of the longest standing investments? I couldn't find my words there. What is one of the longest standing investments around housing? People will always need a place to live. Always have. Probably always will. But that is why inflation is driving up the price, because more and more investors, whether they're buying it themselves, and this is what I love, 2 things. If they're buying it themselves, obviously it's driving the price up, right? Because more investors are getting into the market, okay, which is awesome. Or the other thing is people are now, and this is my specialty, they're investing their money in real estate investors, right? So they're becoming private lenders, private investors through people like myself who are real estate investors, who then, like let's say I'm the investor and you lend your money with me, I go buy real estate. So people are investing their money in real estate in a multiple of different ways, but they're doing so because of the number 3 on my list, inflation. So that is something that is driving up the market, and I do not, what is it? US is 6.8 and Canada's 4.7. Thank you, Kevin. Real-time stats, I love it. Okay, number 4. And this one's debatable. So let me know, and if you are watching this, and again, it might not be a question or a concern or a question for the end, but you might disagree with me. Okay, the 4th I, interest rates. Now listen to this. In Canada, they're predicting that they're going to start going up again. And again, I'm not an economist. I've just been researching and talking to the pros in that section. And basically, they're saying that interest rates will go up. Okay, they've been so low for so long. They will go up a little bit, but they're predicting that that's going to not disrupt the market. I don't want to say that, but they are predicting that that sharp little increase is going to go back down again. So interest rates are at all-time lows. Money is very cheap to below the inflation rate, right? So take that with how you want. But interest rates, if they stay low and if they go up a little bit and come back down, prices are going to continue to go up. I was on a presentation last night. We had someone present to the Action family, and they had a graph, right, where interest rates started like this and have now gone like this, right? So they're one side of the X, and house prices have now gone like this, the other side of the X. And it's the biggest gap, right, between the actual purchase price of the asset and the actual interest rate. There's such a huge gap now. So take that how you want, but that's where we're at. Interest rates, if they go down, if they go up too much, well, it's going to disrupt the market. Number 5, the last one of my eyes before the bonus section, is the increase in materials. Now, the increase in, sorry, I should be more specific here, building materials, all right? So lumber, anything, even the labor, right now there's the shortage of contractors and labor and all that. So that increase, and I'm so visual, so that increase, and I'll try and draw a visual picture for you, but that increase in labor and goods is driving up the price of building. So if you think about it this way, and I've been looking at some pre-constructions, I've looked at some out in Alberta, and I'm just, and I'm looking at different things where if it's going to have a completion date of a year from now, it might be worth more money at that point. What's the picture I'm trying to draw here? Is basically, can I buy an asset right now, today, for X amount of dollars, right? That's cash flowing, that I might be able to lift in valuation, and appreciation as well? Or how much is it going to cost to build the same building, which I know will be brand new, right? Keep knocking my buttons here, I'm sorry. But what I'm getting at is that increase in materials and labor costs is actually going to drive the price up to build that same building that you could possibly purchase for the same price or lower, and then you're able to actually lift it in value and actually get it today and cash flow today to get that, to capture. It's not even just that future appreciation as well. This is something that I find people forget about as well, is the market is live today. Like there's appreciation happening right now, and the market, you catch it when you buy the asset, right? So if there's a timetable here, this is my timetable. If there's a timetable, even though you buy or don't buy just yet. Now, if you only buy here and then continue on, that's awesome. But you missed out on this, right? The best time to buy real estate was 20 years ago, kind of like the whole saying with the tree. And then the second best time is now, because you missed out on 20 years of that market appreciation. We can't get that back. But now, do you want to miss out on another year, another couple of months or whatever it is of appreciation? So that's something that people don't necessarily consider. And that's where the increase in building materials, to tie it all back into my fifth eye, that's why the increase in building materials right now is driving the other prices up, because people can get an asset today. They can start, they can catch, or they can get into that market appreciation today. They can start cash flowing today, and they can get into the interest rates today. How many times can I say today? I'll say now. They can get into the interest rates that are now that might be lower than where it's going up. Again, that might kind of contradict what I said last, but that's with an asterisk. So that is why my prediction for that is the increase in material and labor is driving up the other side of it, where the already built assets are going up in value. So the bonus section that I'll be coming up will actually be after. I want you to stay. I want to build up some anticipation here and start putting the questions. Will be after our commercial break. So make sure you come back. We'll go over the bonus section, then we'll do the Q&A, and I want you to tell me if you agree with me, if you think I'm on, out in the clouds here, out to left field. But yeah, stay tuned to the commercial break, or after the commercial break.
What are you doing, Dave?
Mel, the Canadian real estate market is on fire right now, and I need my fuel in order to show these guys how to do it without any joint venture partners or without sacrificing all of their savings.
Well, let's go show them.
All right.
Want to learn how to buy Canadian properties using non-beyond funds?
And what if we told you you are able to solely own that, which means you have no partners?
It may sound too good to be true, but this is happening every single day with our students.
Take Heather, she bought 4 multifamily properties in less than 5 months.
And Adele, who purchased 51 units last year.
And Troy and Lisa, who added 33 units to their portfolio.
And Francois, he purchased 15 units and was able to quit his full-time job in less than a year.
How did they do it? Well, it's a simple 3-step process that leverages OPM, other people's money.
If you want to see how this works, then click the link below and we'll send you the training straight to your inbox.
Don't miss out. Now is the best time to create a real estate portfolio.
We'll see you in the training.
All right, we're back. We're back from the commercial. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Okay, the bonus, number 6, the one that I could not make work with an I in front of, otherwise it would have been 6 I's. The bonus one that I think, and I want to dive into this one, and it's a little different, okay? The reason I think the market continues to go up is because single family homes, okay? Single family homes, things are changing with this. And, okay, I'm trying to think of how I want to dissect this. The single family home is like it's becoming revolutionized in the way that it's being purchased. Like single family home used to be a single family that would buy it, live in it, enjoy their life, become their retirement plan, sell it when the kids move out, and it's their nest egg, okay? That is still happening, but there's also another variable that is happening as well. See, I kind of caught myself there, Kevin, as to which word I was going to use. I'm French, so sometimes I'm like, I change the words as I go because I think in French first. But what I'm getting at here is the single family home is no longer for the single family occupants. There's a lot of investors that are now buying those single family homes. And realistically, and being honest with you, when I first started, I bought my first single family home as an income property in 2012. I got on the fire department in 2011. Yeah, and I think I bought my house then or the summer after. So 2011, 2012, doesn't matter. And that was to live in it and then rent it out after. And then after that, I bought another single family home. So within my real estate investing span, I've only purchased, don't quote me on this, but I think 2 single family dwellings. Because I started buying multifamily, I thought it had to be multifamily. However, now my mindset has shifted a bit. Now I'm still a multifamily guy, I'm still a commercial real estate guy, I still have storage units, mobile home parks in negotiations. Anyway, stay tuned on that. But the single family dwelling has come full circle for me. And why is that? Because I'm looking at some single family dwelling portfolios in the States as an attractive income property to buy. Now, think of that, right? That wasn't even on my radar back in 2011, 2012, so a decade ago, and now it's coming back. I'm not the only investor that's looking at that single family home either. Okay, so this is disrupting the market because more and more investors are thinking of a single family home as an income property, as an investment property, and they like it because they're going to have a long-term tenant who's going to raise a family there, and more people want to rent, right? The millennials, we can go down that avenue. The millennials just want to rent and that type of thing. But this is disrupting the market because those same families that still want to live there, have kids, whether they have kids or not, raise a family, build memories, and do all of that, are still wanting to do that. And now, so right, they're trying to buy the house, and now the investors are also trying to buy the house. So there's competition. The competition has gone up for that same single family dwelling, which again, when people are competing for a asset, the price isn't going to go down. It's going to go up. So this is the variable that I think is really shaking up the market, is the single family dwellings are going up because they're in high demand from investors. They're in high demand from immigrants who want to buy their first house. They're in high demand from residents of Canada and the States as well that also want to buy that. So this is the game changer that I find has really changed recently. And I want to know your thoughts. And we're going to be going into the Q&A. Hey, Kevo? That's soon enough. So we're going to be going into the Q&A. But I'm really curious to see whether you're watching this live with me now or you're watching this after the fact, okay? I'm really curious to see if you agree with me or if you disagree with me on the single family dwelling aspect. I'm curious to see, do you own any single family dwellings other than the one that you maybe live in? Okay. Kevin, all right, we're gonna dive into the Q&A. Someone is asking which...
Could you talk about OPM via banks versus OPM via owners?
Oh, is that what someone said? Okay, so someone's asking OPM via the banks, right? So through the banks versus OPM. Oh, I'm sorry, OPM is other people's money. I just use it every day, so I'm just used to it. But I still remember the first time I heard it, I was like, OPM? What's that? Yeah, OPM, other people's money. So OPM, other people's money from the banks and other people's money from sellers. And let's include sellers. Let's also include private investors, private lenders. Now, the way I see other people's money from the bank is it's a leverage play, okay? And it's typically going to be like 4 to 5 times the money that you put into it is what they'll lend out. So for example, if you put 20% down and they do the 80, that 20% just bought an asset 5 times worth its value, okay? So $100,000 asset, you put 20K, your 20K just now bought 100K worth of asset, okay? So the way I see the financial institutions is you're leveraging them. It's almost, and follow me on this, okay? Follow me on the leverage trail. The leverage trail, the leverage, the leverage road. You are using the financial institution's money, right? You're leveraging their money, buying basically 4 or 5 times the amount of money you put into it, okay? So you're leveraging that, which is awesome, because then you can buy a lot more assets with OPM, which is the bank's money. And then so look at this, whoops, hitting the mic here. Follow this. They have leveraged other people's money as well in order to make that interest. Like the bank is almost the middle person, right? And you're the end user. You're either the end user or you're the beginning user. And what I mean by this is if you put your money in the bank for investments or whatever you do with for savings, that type of thing, the bank now takes your money and lends it out times 10 to people like me, real estate investors, right? So it's kind of interesting to look at. So that's how I use bank financing to leverage real estate investing. Awesome. I see the questions coming up, so there'll be more. And then that's how we use the financial solutions money, and that's how we leverage it. Now, how do we leverage other people's money, such as the seller, private lenders, private investors? And I don't like to use the word use because it's a win-win, right? We're not using, we're utilizing. I like that word a lot better. We are utilizing OPM from the sellers, from investors, because they are winning. It's not, they win in this scenario. The reason they're doing this, the reason the sellers are doing this is for capital gains purposes, for tax purposes, okay? And the reason that private investors are doing it is because they want to make a return on their money. So it is a win-win. It is actually utilizing. So the way I see it done with, let's use sellers. Let's use sellers in the beginning, okay? So you're basically leveraging their equity. So they've had the asset for X amount of time. They've built up equity. The tenants have paid down the mortgage. And now they have that equity in the asset, and they're looking at selling. And they did the numbers with their accountant, and they went, okay, if I sell it outright and get all the money, here's how much tax I'm going to pay. If I sell it outright and hold the mortgage, not outright, if I sell it and hold a mortgage for an investor, then I may be able to help myself tax-wise. So that is why they are doing it. And what they're doing is they're leveraging the equity that they've paid down in that asset, because they can't lend out equity that they don't have, right? So basically they're taking their equity, they're turning it into a mortgage for you, and you are now leveraging their equity. They are leveraging you to help themselves tax-wise, and that's how I see seller financing working. It's a win-win, okay? And people, you know what? I'm going to go on a little rant here. People that say that doesn't work in my market, that doesn't apply here, the market is too hot. Listen to this, okay? Let's just use Canada as an example. And let's use North Bay. So I'm in North Bay, Ontario, Canada, right? It's about 350 kilometers north of Toronto. No one knows where North Bay is. Everyone knows where Toronto is. We are subject to the tax rules from the Canada Revenue Agency, okay? So is Toronto. So is Vancouver. So is Ottawa. So is Montreal. Anywhere in Canada is subject to CRA rules. Okay, think of that. So when someone says, seller financing doesn't work in my market, oh really? I beg to differ, because they are a seller, they will be subject to capital gains through CRA, and they will want to get the best bang for their buck, right, tax-wise. So just think of that. If a seller tells you, or someone tells you it doesn't work in hot markets, give them that one. They're subject to CRA, and in the States, they're subject to the IRS as well, right, which is countrywide. I forget my rant over on that. Now, private lenders, private investors, you're leveraging their money as well. This might be money that they have from the proceeds of a sale. It might be from an inheritance, whatever it is, but they have funds that you are now leveraging. And what are you giving them? Sorry, here's how both sides are benefiting. The person that is lending you the money is obviously benefiting from the interest rates that they're making, okay, from you. From the investment, not from you. The investment's paying for everything. You don't pay for anything. The asset that you're buying pays for everything. And then you're benefiting from leveraging that money that they have in order to purchase that asset, right? So that's how I see bank versus seller leveraging. Vess, my question in the group. We just met with a realtor in our city. Vess, you're part of the Action family, I think. So I'll give a brief explanation here, but I'll ask it in the Action family coming up soon, and I'll go more in depth. My question in the group. We just met with a realtor in our city who works with investors. He seems great and commits to working with us, but he also wants us to sign an exclusive contract for 1 to 3 months. Is that something that is typically done, or is that a red flag? Thanks in advance. Vess, I'll dive more in depth in the Action family, but just a general way that I do it. I'm trying to think, do I have any right now? I do not. I have, I think, one buyer rep agreement, and that is in Florida. Yes, that's right. It's in Florida. And then all my other places that I'm looking, like Alberta, I don't have a buyer rep that I'm looking. Out in BC, I don't have a buyer rep. In Texas, I have it for one property, the property I have under contract. The other states, the Georgia, yeah. So the buyer rep is not a red flag. A lot of realtors, like a realtor, basically, like think about it this way: put the shoe on the other foot. A realtor has to have a buyer rep, whether it's for a year, and I would never sign a year thing, just personal preference. So this is 1 to 3 months. Even if it's just for that property, if they don't have the buyer rep for that property, then they won't get paid. Like they basically need that. That's their signing off saying that, hey, I'm representing them. This is how I'm going to get my paycheck when the asset actually closes. Now, how you go about that and how long you do it, I'll dive deeper into that, Vess, into the Action family soon, so just remind me to ask that. Cynthia, is there a possibility of renting to own? Absolutely, there's possibility of renting to own. So in Canada, what is it called again? In Canada, it's the, it's going to bug me. It's not the APS, it's the, amazing, thank you. Yeah, absolutely, Vess. I forget what it's called exactly in Canada, but it's basically, it's like a, I'm getting confused in my thought here. In the States, there's obviously, well, in Canada, there's rent-to-own as well. In the States, there's also subject to, which is basically you own the asset, but the seller still holds the mortgage. There's also wrap mortgages where you don't own the asset. I'm talking about the States right now. You don't own the asset. You don't have the mortgage on the property. It's almost like an assignment to you. It's all contractual. And there's one in Canada, but it's escaping me right now. Like some people call it the master lease. There's so many different names for it. But yeah, Cynthia, you can do rent to own. Now, Cynthia, I'm curious. Are you looking at doing rent to own from the person looking to buy it, or are you looking rent to own from the person that's selling it to someone in the rent to own situation? Let me know. Oh, Kevin, I think another question popped up. Yeah, so Cynthia, let me know that one. You mentioned OPM. How do you find people when you are starting out? Yes, when you're starting out, honestly, social media has been a powerful platform for us to find it. It's also be vocal, right? Like when I'm at the dentist, I'm telling them about OPM and deals that I've got going on. When I'm at the lawyer's office, when I'm anywhere, I'm telling them that I'm looking for creative financing. So just be very vocal. So yes, good question. Be very vocal as to what you're looking for and how you do it and what kind of interest you're willing to pay, and people will gravitate to you. Cynthia, yes, to purchase at a later date. Yeah, so Cynthia, the only thing I would say to be not worrisome, but to be cognizant of is that you're buying a contract basically, okay? You're buying that contract that states, well, between you and the seller, that states that we all agree to buy this asset at a later date at roughly this price, give or take X amount of percentages or things like that. And the only thing I don't like about, I love the concept. I've looked at doing rent to own multiple times, and every time I talk with my lawyers, I go, what about this? And they're like, yep, if that happens, it's a lawsuit. I'm like, what about this? Yeah, if that happens, it's a lawsuit. So Cynthia, just know going into it that let's say, like let's just kind of go down this, like I'm playing devil's advocate here is what I'm trying to say. Let's say when it comes down to that process, the seller doesn't want to sell anymore. Well, if they don't want to sell it to you, and I know you're going to say, well, Dave, there's a contract. Yeah, I know, but if they change their mind, you're going to have to sue them. That's the possibility, Cynthia. That's the only reason I'm not. Actually, you know what, Kevin? We just did a video on that, a rent-to on YouTube, right? Cynthia, go check it out. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the bell. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell to get notified. We're releasing a video today on. Actually, it's a Real Deals. We're going to be analyzing a real deal, and check it out. And the rent-to-own one. Go look at it because it'll have a bunch of different. Yeah, the channel is at Investor Mel Dave. I guess if you're not on YouTube. If you're somewhere else, our YouTube channel is at Investor Mel Dave. We have a whole rent to own. I think I'm in front of the whiteboard and I explain why, why I like or dislike it. Brandon, has there ever been a scenario where you couldn't achieve a lift in an investment? Just curious about the risk of something going sideways. Yeah, you're welcome, Cynthia. Yeah, Brandon, and that's the whole thing. We use our cash flow analysis matrix, right? So when I'm looking at a deal, I'm analyzing it and underwriting it just like the financial institutions, if not even stricter, okay? And the cash flow matrix has 3 sections. The first one is going to be, what is the deal doing right now? What are the ratios? What is the cash flow? Why am I buying it? Like, what is it doing? Why am I buying it? And then it also has the exit strategy built in as well, which is basically exactly that. How am I going to exit? How am I going to pay back these private funds? And how am I going to ensure that my lenders are going to be paid? Okay, so that's the exit strategy that's built into our cash flow analysis matrix. And in there, Brandon, that's where you're going to build yourself some insulation. You're not just going to give yourself a 6-month term and then hope for the best, right? It's giving yourself enough time. It's knowing the market. It's knowing the numbers. It's knowing the projections and where things are going. So, knock on wood, we have never had something not achieve it because we're realistic. We're very conservative. And we underwrite our deals very conservatively. Awesome. Any other questions, Kevin?
That's it.
Awesome, guys. Well, this was fun. So you got to see the 5 eyes and the bonus as to why I think the market, not a prediction. I don't want someone coming back to say your prediction was wrong or right. Just a thought. Why I think the market is going to continue to go up in 2022. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, click the like. If you're watching this, after the fact, again, this is live December 17th, 10 days before the big guy goes down the chimney. Then yeah, give me a comment below. Comment below and let me know what you think. And if this is like 6 months down the road and I'm right or wrong, also comment below. And I have no problem acknowledging if I'm wrong. But if I'm right, I'm going to be like, ooh, I was right. So anyway, enjoyed it, guys. Thank you for the stream, by the way. You look like a buddy of mine, Chris Reed. Any relation? No. A lot of people say I look like Will Sasso as well from Mad TV. So I also get the Kingpin guy from the cartoons. I get a lot of you look like. So I'll take it. I've been called a lot worse. So anyway, thank you, YouTube. Bye for now. Go check out the video that's getting released later on today.
I'm Mel.
And I'm Dave.
And we're the Investor Couple. To invest your money and you want to maximize on your profits.
This is where real estate truly wins.
2.5 years in the making.
Who called the plumber? And you now have an infinite return on investment